My husband and I were looking for a home, and we had our first child, and we wanted a little bit bigger of a home. So we didn't have an agent signed on. So this particular home we wanted to see, the listing agent was Tiffany Butt. So I called Tiffany and asked her could she show us the home, and she wanted to make sure we didn't have an agent, and we said no. And so we went out. It was a very stormy day. She was out and had the place shoveled and ready to go for us to walk in, and she showed us the home, and it wasn't what we were looking for, but she took her time and she asked us some questions about what it was that we were looking for. And I gave her specifics, and you know, we wanted a big backyard, we wanted a little bit on the outskirts of the city, open concept, and a few other things. And of all the other agents that we had talked to up to that point, she walked away, and the only things, she asked could she send me some listings to view, and I said yes, by email. And the only thing she sent me matched all my criteria, versus other agents that had shown us properties just sent us everything that came on the market that day. So it showed me that she was in tune with listening and what we wanted.
Okay, I told my client I'd bring her some Pepsi. I'll be right back.
I really respected that.
Did you get
because
pizza?
She wasn't using up my time with things that she thought I should like, or places that she thought we should live or try out. And I get that, but we just did know going into it that this is what we wanted. We ended up buying privately our first home, and so we didn't need an agent. But when it came time to sell that home, I thought about Tiffany. And at the same time, somebody had told us about the Costco program, and it was really low fees. And I am definitely very frugal with my money. I like to make sure I spend it in the right places. So I called Tiffany and said, this is what I'm thinking. Somebody has told me about the Costco program, but I really liked you, and I think that I would like to work with you. So can you present to me a case why it would make sense for me to pay more money for you? And she did just that. She's a go-getter. She gets things done, and I really respect that. And she listed our house, and it sold in 10 days. So it could have been the market, the timing, but it certainly was a lot to do with the effort that she put into it as well.
I've grown up in this industry. My parents have been in the business for over 20 years. And at first I was curious about the different designs and different builds. But as I watched their careers grow, I realized how important it was for people, their home. It's not a house. They're buying a home for their family. And I enjoy helping people, and my family is the most important thing in my life, so it's nice to be able to help other families with their most important decision. They could always be there when we needed them the most. Their schedule, even though they might have worked like probably 60 or 70 hours a week, you know, they could work from their phone, or they could send an email or a text at our swimming lessons, you know. My father loves his family, and so I guess he wanted to choose a career that allowed him to be able to spend as much time with us as possible, and that was great. I think he puts on a brave face. I think he is one of the strongest and most individuals I've ever met. He always is striving to work harder and push better. Like in this market now, you know, we're building a new building. We've got an amazing new app. Like you sit outside anything home that's listed, and the price, all the details come up, and then it'll pin every other home in the area. Like how cool is that, you know? Like we developed that, and we're a local independent company, you know? Like a local supporting local is what we are. And my father loves his family, but it's not just us that he cares about. It's every realtor that is with us, you know. Hanlon is like a family, you know. We want to work together, and you've got the Newfoundland bus for doing caravan, you know, like he just tries to always take it one step further, always, to do whatever he can to help all of us. And I know he does it to me personally, but it's not just me, and that's something that I really admire about him.
Nevin, where do I start? I met Nevin in the real estate circles when he first joined. He worked with one of our competitors, came over under our brand a number of years ago, started up his team, the Hollick Group, and is a very, I'll say, he's a very hard-working realtor. He puts a lot of time, heart and soul into real estate, and has become probably one of the, if not the best real estate team in the city, one of the best.
Nevin works around the clock lots of times. He, punches 60, 80, even 100-hour weeks sometimes. And just watching him with his dedication is definitely inspiring. Nevin is a really great person. We've done lots of things socially as a team as well, outside of work. And Nevin's a lot of fun to hang around with outside of the office. We have a really good team here. Everybody gets along very well. And, there's a lot of great vibes going on here. He gives us a lot of support when we need it, and is definitely an excellent employer.
I met Nevin in, I believe, 2000 or 2001. We were both in university, and we worked at a furniture store here in town. And I met Nevin there, and we've kind of been friends ever since. Definitely got great vision. I've learned a lot from Nevin. He definitely has a lot of knowledge, a lot of experience. He's got his quirks like anybody.
He has the balance of a newborn giraffe.
Yeah, he's been known to fall down on occasion.
He's always falling down somewhere doing something, and that's, probably the biggest kick we get out of him, is watching him looking up at us on the floor. Well, this year, as you can see behind me here, we have a board set up. Nevin has set a goal for the team this year that if we meet that goal of 250 transactions this year, we all get a trip to Ireland. So we're all pretty excited about that, working hard, and hopefully we'll meet that goal by the end of the year. We do have some new agents with us this year, so our numbers are up, and we're hoping that we can, pump some sales out and take a trip to Ireland. The hardest part about our job, I think, would be the lengthy time before you get paid. A lot of times we put a lot of work into our clients' needs, and sometimes it doesn't pay off, and that's just the nature of the job. You do what's best for your client, and at the end of the day, if it means taking a loss on some of the things you do for them, then that's what you have to do.
Hi everyone, it's Robin from Decorating Den Interiors. Today I want to share with you a little bit about how I work with my clients. My initial consultation is free. On top of that, there are no ongoing design fees. I pride myself on putting the focus on my clients' individual lifestyles, how they live in their home, not just the house or the products in it. I love that what I do improves people's lives by taking into account the aesthetic beauty and functionality of the pieces, but most importantly, how my clients need to use them. I'm able to do that through my network of over 130 national name brand suppliers. So with any budget or style, my clients are able to shop with me in their own homes and find all the items and more that they would find in stores. Whether it's accessories, window treatments, or entire home furnishings, my role is to work with my clients' ideas and help them really pull it all together, from inspiration to installation. For your free consultation, contact me by phone, email, or my website. Let's connect soon.
This portion of Open House NL has been brought to you by Premier Mortgage Center. Your mortgage, your insurance, your terms.
Hi, I'm Dave from Hot Tub Pros. Come see the most energy-efficient hot tubs on the market today. These premium hot tubs come with a lifetime guarantee and a complete auto-clean system. You can have your very own hot tub delivered and installed by our professional and friendly staff. We also carry a full line of hot tub products and accessories, including the Spa Marble Natural Enzyme Hot Tub Water Conditioner. Hot Tub Pros, 189 Glencoe Drive, Mount Pearl, 364-8827.
Your home. It's the place you come back to, and a place that never leaves you. At Cohen's Home Furnishings, this is our home too. Since 1919, we've been proud to be a part of the most special place in your heart. Cohen's, where the home is.
Hi, I'm Ken with Republic Inspections, here to give you a home maintenance tip. The HRV and many properties I find, the filters are generally dirty. These are very, very easy to fix. Just open up your unit here on this side. Doesn't require any tools. I'll open up. And your filters are right in here. You just take them out. They are reusable. Vacuum them off, rinse them under some warm soapy water, and then just pop them back in the unit, and you're all good to go. Manufacturer states that this should be done every 4 to 6 months.
We met on a file a number of years ago now, actually, and it's, you know, I guess when I say that she communicates pretty well, I mean, that file was really no different. And, you know, from that point forward, we just, you know, fostered and maintained a really good relationship together. And it's, you know, like I said, when I see a file coming in from Tiffany, I just know that, you know, everything's going to go fairly smoothly, right? We've never had a problem that we haven't been able to overcome. But again, that still comes down to the communication piece, because, you know, Tiffany's got a really good eye to be able to spot issues early on, because with real estate sometimes, just the way it works with Murphy's Law, when problems tend to arise, it tends to be in the last 24 to 48 hours, and you know, sometimes that's unavoidable. It's just the nature of it. But Tiffany, I find, is one of those agents that can really, it's like she's got a second sense for seeing issues coming up, and you know, spotting that 3 or 4 days before can really lead to a much smoother closing. I mean, sometimes it's, you know, certain things are unavoidable, but she certainly can see things coming up, and it certainly makes my job on the legal end a lot easier, for sure. She's there from the beginning to the end, right? She's there from the very first time the file comes in. She's making sure that everything's going through okay, which is, it's so important really, because you know, there's a lot of players when it comes to a real estate transaction. There's, you know, there's the clients, of course, there's the agent, there's the lawyer, there's the mortgage professional, and the thing is, communication really, I found, is the key. And you know, problems can arise. It's just the nature of real estate. It comes up, but you know, no problems are insurmountable. And if all the key players are communicating like that, then that's a real key piece. And like Tiffany really gets that. She truly does. And sometimes that can be the difference between a file going really smoothly and a file not going smoothly. You know, having a lawyer who is involved in a file is very important. I mean, people often don't see a lot of what the lawyer does on a file, because a lot of it's in the background. It's making sure that the property is secured, both for the client but also for the bank. People sometimes don't realize that a lawyer in a file, they wear two hats basically. They wear a hat to make sure that the client's interests are taken care of, but also as well they wear a hat to make sure the bank's interests are taken care of as well. And you know, sometimes those heads can butt a little bit, understandably, but having a lawyer who, you know, is involved in the file, who is communicating, you know, everything like I'm saying about Tiffany, basically. If it's someone who is there, is contactable, is communicating, then, you know, everything will go smoothly. But the lawyer has a very, very important part of the whole process, and without the lawyer, unfortunately, it won't go through, as much as I hate to say it.
He's very dedicated, very determined, and very busy. He's a great leader. He sees goals and he goes for them, and very effectively meets his goals. He keeps us all in line. He's a really good guy to work under, for sure. My first thoughts were he's very busy. He's obviously super successful, but he has a really good leadership about him. And I just knew he made a lot of money, so I wanted to make a lot of money. Yeah, he puts in a lot of hours. He is non-stop. Yeah. I'm learning a lot more about the market, more about predictability, and making a lot of warm calls, which we get a lot of leads from the different systems that Nevin use, which is a huge asset. We would never, ever get half the leads that we would without him. So he's really good at generating that for the whole team.
Oh, I think Nevin is fantastic. I mean, he's always there when you have a question. You know, especially when you're new. I mean, you know, a lot of us now, we've been here for a little while, so we don't tend to have to rely on him as much as we did. But I mean, especially for some of the newer people, you know, he's fantastic. Like I said, he's a wealth of knowledge. He's always willing to help you in any way that he can, and just being able to benefit from, you know, things like his lead generation and the way that he has his business set up. You know, I can't see of anywhere else that I would rather be. Definitely one of the most driven people I've ever met, and I think he tries to instill that in all of us, and it is infectious. So, you know, that's one of the things you get from Nevin, is that drive, that you get out what you put in, and you know, I've definitely learned a lot from him there.
Morning, Dar. Is everyone in the office? All right, perfect. Hey guys, how you doing? Good, good. We're gonna do the sales meeting there now. So if you want to grab your stuff and go out to the boardroom. All right, I'll go get the other guys. All right, guys, how you guys doing? Good. Everyone good now? You free? Yeah. All right, so grab your stuff. We're gonna go out to the boardroom and have a little sales meeting, okay? All right, thanks.
This portion of Open House NL has been brought to you by Hickey's Timber Mart, serving you from 3 locations: Harbor Main, CBS, and St. John's.
Hanlon Realty is certainly a different kind of company. You know, from its base, once upon a time when we started it, we'd never had an agent or a person that was a real estate agent before. We took them all in off the street and trained them from scratch. And the foundation of that training and the policies of how it operates are still the same. And Wayne has maintained that wonderfully, because the other thing is that Wayne is not a competitor of the agents, even though Wayne is a realtor, and he does a lot of different things, and land development, and involved a lot in new home construction, recruiting, and you know, helping agents whenever they need. You know, he's realized that you know, when you come over to this company, he's not taking business from you, he's looking for it to give to them.
We met in Toronto, actually. I grew up in Toronto, and that's where we met. I was only 17. He was not much older, and we've been together for 35 years.
I was a year younger, wasn't I?
No, you weren't.
I thought I was.
We've been together for 35 years. We have 3 children and 2 grandchildren. Wayne is really good at what he does. I see, working really closely alongside him, I see him put together a lot of deals that sometimes don't even go together. He manages to always find a way to put a deal together, and he's growing like a lot in like land development and the business itself, and he's always strived to make our family life a lot easier and better. And he's just a really hard worker, works long hours, and he just gets things done.
You know, there are a few offices out there with a larger complement of realtors, and they don't really operate in the way that Hanlon Realty does. You know, we have weekly sales meetings where, you know, we discuss a lot of the goods and bad, the highs and lows, you know, the problems, the wins, the losses that are going on, you know, in the industry and between the realtors and their customer base and their competitors. You know, we do constant training, power sessions, we call them as well, that we get mini groups together. And we have an open communication. While they're all competitors and peers and co-workers, you know, they're still out to get their own customers and earn their own commissions. So having an open dialogue that everybody realizes that we can talk about these things freely, and nobody inside this office, you know, is going to go and try to steal your customer, which I think is a bit of maybe an unfair myth about the real estate business, and certainly people that work on commission. But we spend a lot of time together, you know, functions for the entire office and spouses, to functions with whoever can show up, to mandatory functions, you know, to training to keep your license, or training to, you know, be able to maintain the skill sets and the service standards that we set at Hanlon Realty. So it's ongoing, there's no doubt, and real estate is ever changing, as is the technology, the laws, the rules, the marketing. You know, it is a full-time job, but you know, when you do have a good group, like we do at Hanlon Realty, and you know, some of the things that they do that other offices, you know, I've talked to some realtors that, you know, been in real estate for 35 years and the company's never had a sales meeting, you know, so that's one of the things I find with some of the franchises. You know, While we're an independent company, you're an independent realtor, and people seem to work in a bubble. They might tell you differently, but you know, we know what goes on out there.
Hi everyone. Many times people ask me, how much of a mortgage payment can I afford? My best advice on this is the amount that you feel comfortable with. Even though the bank may approve you for a higher amount, that doesn't mean it's the right fit for you. Always take into consideration you will have your mortgage payment, property taxes, and homeowner insurance. That's the magic number at the end of the day.
This portion of Open House NL has been brought to you by the Franklin Hotel, in the heart of the downtown of St. John's.
Rustler's Family Restaurant. Delicious home-style meals and more. Made in-house, just like Mom used to make. Rustler's Family Restaurant, next to Breakers, the local, in the Fall River Plaza. And don't forget the all-day breakfast. Rustler's Family Restaurant.
The surveyor's real property report is different than your survey. Your survey shows the boundaries of your property and tells you how much land you have. The surveyor's real property report shows your improvements on the land, shows the decks, fences, easements, sheds, encroachments by your property on others and encroachments by others upon you. It's an extremely important document to have, and I would recommend that you have a recent real property report that you can rely on. So either a brand new one for your transaction or one from recent years that the vendor verifies hasn't changed.
What Tiffany reminds me a lot of my mother. She's quite determined, and her business sense reminds me of my mother. My mother built a business, a successful business, mainly because someone said she couldn't. And Tiffany built a fantastic real estate business, I think mainly because someone said she couldn't.
Well, I had 4 kids, and I used to work up to a restaurant. I used to cook in a restaurant up the road. And so when my daughter found out my daughter was deaf, I said, oh my God, you know, what's she going to do? And so anyway, I said to my husband, I said, you know, we're going to have to put her in school for the deaf. Oh my gosh, no, we can't do that. She's only 5 years old. And I said, well, you know, she's got to be educated. You know, she can't grow up in this little town without being educated. And he said, well, wait till she's 12 or 13 and let her make up her own mind. And I said, no, it's too late then. I said, you can't take a 12 or 13-year-old and put him in a school in St. John's after living in a small town. But I said, if she's 5, well, then I can make the choice. And the choice is a choice that I'm going to have to make. So anyway, we took her and we brought her in here. And oh, it was a rough road. Well, I nearly died. Just about killed me. Well, it killed her father. And
A big struggle growing up?
Struggle. Still hurts.
And I see a lot of my mom and Tiffany. She's strong and she's resilient. And my mother did what she had to do for her child. And I think Tiffany makes the same commitment. She does what she has to do for her children.
Like, success for me is being healthy and being really happy and smiling every day and laughing every day and being with people I love and my friends and my kids, my family, and even my clients become friends and almost family to me. This is part of my job that I love.
Everybody has what you're put here to do inside you, and follow what makes you happy. And if you can find and are fortunate enough to do what fulfills you and makes you happy, you'll succeed at whatever it is you do.